2012 is set to be the year of the Titanic. It is the 100th anniversary of the celebrated liner's famous maiden voyage. Declared unsinkable, it promptly sank with the loss of over 1,500 lives, providing various metaphors for man's hubris ever since. For the millions still fascinated by the tragedy, the coming year will see ample opportunities to celebrate her memory or to spend money getting a closer look.
See, like a clear sky or a calmer sea. We have had some ice warnings.
ITV will screen a drama about the sinking of the ship by the king of the costume drama, Downton Abbey writer Julian Fellowes. You can visit a new £90 million visitor centre if you can make it to her birthplace in Belfast. And if you want to view the Titanic herself, there are several companies competing for your cash. A submarine tour will take you to the wreckage site, and there are cruises that claim to faithfully replicate the historic route, although hopefully minus the very last part. Philip Littlejohn, historian of the ship and grandson of one of the few survivors, will be on board, and he joins me now. Is it not a little gruesome, all this idea of tourism to what is effectively still a mass grave in the bottom of the sea?
Yes, I think the important thing that people that go to see Titanic treat it with respect. As you say, it is a place where a great number of people died on that night. A great friend of mine, Milvina Dean, the very last Titanic survivor, her father went down with the ship, and she always remembers it as a maritime grave, which of course it is.
What is the fascination with this story? Why would somebody like you or anybody else want to go on a cruise that replicated that final voyage?
Well, I'm going on the cruise to talk to passengers about my grandfather, who was a first-class steward on RMS Titanic, and also about my experiences making the dive down to the wreck, which I did 10 years ago.
There's a lot of places trying to claim ownership of this Titanic story. We've got this huge big centre opening in Belfast, but you've got places like Liverpool and Southampton that try and claim their part of the story as well. It was a disaster. Why do you think people are keen to be linked with this tragedy?
It was a disaster what happened to Titanic, but as the people of Belfast always say, Titanic was the ship of dreams. It was a wonderful ship. It was what happened to her was the disaster.
But the disaster was underlined by the fact that they claimed that she was unsinkable. I mean, it would have been a tragedy to lose that many lives under any circumstances. But this idea that they declared they finally had a boat that could survive an iceberg and it didn't on its maiden voyage, that is, as I was saying before, it's been a metaphor for hubris ever since, hasn't it?
Yes, I mean, it was basically the mistakes made by the captain and the belief, as you say, that the ship was unsinkable. But as a lady passenger boarded the ship in Southampton, asked a steward, is it true this ship is unsinkable? He replied, even God himself couldn't sink this vessel. That's what the public believed.
It costs a great deal of money to go on the cruise, or over £40,000 to go on the submarine trip. Do you worry that this anniversary is going to be commercialised and become all about the cash?
I hope not. I hope people that go there remember what it was all about. When I did my dive down, when we came to the surface, everybody said the same thing. Did you see the shoes? There were pairs of shoes laying on the seabed, which wasn't just shoes. That's where a person had come to rest when they lost their lives on Titanic. And I think that's what people have got to remember. They're not just going to go and see a ship, or what remains of a ship, because Titanic is disintegrating, but where a great number of people lost their lives.
Philip Littlejohn, thank you very much for talking to us.